up, Bear Nation? Hi, I'm Bear from the internet. Can you hear the words that I am saying? Bear, your audio quality sucks. Yes, and it always will. Hi, Berkey Emmons. It always will suck because, unlike most of the content creators on the internet, I don't care about popularity or production quality or subscriber count or any of that other bullshit. Okay? Welcome. Today is Coffee Time with Bear, which is like an intel brief, but taken far less seriously. What's up, Arc Living? So if you're one of those people who clicked on thinking you're going to get the real deal on what happened in Syria over the last 9 days or so, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. I don't know. I'm trying to keep up with it too, as is, I think, pretty much everybody else. So we're going to try and figure that out. We're also going to talk about the United Healthcare, can you even say this word on the internet? Assassination. Because that's what it was, and my thoughts around that. And then, of course, Trump and his meeting with Emmanuel Macron over the weekend in Paris, and what that probably means for the Ukraine war, which is really, what does that probably mean to the global cabal of elitist pedophiles who worship Satan and abuse children, and their ability to launder your taxpayer dollars through a global conflict proxy war with Russia. Oh, damn. Said the quiet part out loud. Appreciate y'all. Good morning. Subscribe, ring the little bell icon, do all that YouTube bull crap that everybody says you should do. What's that guy's name? The Armed Scholar. He does such a good job at it. And just a quick note, I've noticed that 40% of you are unsubscribed or not subscribed. If you could do me a quick favor. Yeah, he has a script that he reads and he sticks to it. I have a brief that I only kind of read and I never stick to it. So whatever the nice words that guy says, do those YouTube things, please and thank you. What's up, Angela Bragg? Shows brought to you by the creator of the universe and by this little company behind me, now on 4 continents, refugemedical.com, and by the fine people over at Patreon, the economic engine of the Bear Nation. So, with that, shall we get started? Oh, a reminder, hey, if you haven't watched the Hurricane Helene debrief podcast here on this channel with my brother Mark, who's a 21-year SOF veteran, and our thoughts and feels about what happened in Hurricane Helene and lessons learned from a preparedness standpoint, you're missing out. I'm just throwing that out there. A lot of effort was made to produce that content for y'all. Shout out to Dudley for making sure the audio on that one was actually pretty good. So I would highly recommend you take some time and watch that because there's a lot of nuggets in there for everybody. Okay? Okay, Bear. All right, awesome. It's Monday in early December. Basically, the entirety of the world, if not just North America, is phoning it in between now and January. We are not. We are going to do the brief. Dateline 9 December 24, Bear Independent brief. The murder, or perhaps more accurately, assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York City is prompting a storm of media coverage and public commentary that is very revealing. The sheer number of people celebrating his death and defending the shooter is a notable indicator to keep an eye on. Calls of "eat the rich" and "the hero we all need" are pervasive. Interestingly, it's also a bipartisan phenomenon. One BBC, the British Broadcasting Company, article noted, quote, animosity was expressed from avowed socialists to right-wing activists suspicious of the so-called deep state and corporate power. It also came from ordinary people sharing stories about insurance firms denying their claims for medical treatments, end quote. The victim's wife, Paulette Thompson, told NBC, quote, there had been some threats. Basically, I don't know, a lack of coverage, question mark? I don't know the details. I just know that he said there were some people that had been threatening him, end quote. Talk about keeping your wife in the dark. Do you know what mushroomed is? You guys know what mushroomed is? It's a term you may use from now on, if you'd like. Mushroomed, when you have been mushroomed, is when you've been kept in the dark and fed bullshit. Okay, because that's how you grow mushrooms. You put them in a dark place and feed them cow manure. So Mushroom. Sounds like this dude mushroomed his wife, which I understand. I mean, my wife doesn't know everything that I do, not because I'm keeping stuff from her. She just doesn't have a need to know. But it sounds like this lady was living a, or at least I would like to believe, based upon my social engineering, that this lady was living a pretty sweet life and therefore didn't have any cause to be aware of why someone would want to kill her husband. Assassinate her husband. Philip Klein of Klein Investigations, which had provided security for Thompson in the past, pointed out, quote, "There's a lot of anger in the United States of America right now. Companies need to wake up and realize that their executives could be hunted down anywhere." And that's the first paragraph of the brief, and I have some commentary. Look, let's go in reverse. Yes, companies should be aware that their executives could be hunted down anywhere. And it doesn't matter how good of a PSD you have, personal security detail. I mean, the former president has been shot at twice. Yeah, doesn't matter how good your PSD is. You can be gotten if somebody wants to get you. Which brings me back around to calls of eat the rich and the hero we all need are pervasive. Coming from both sides of the political spectrum, both ends of the political spectrum. Who was the shooter? If I don't know, but let me, hold on. I see the hat. Hold on. Stand by.
He's gonna put on the bad guy hat. Did someone send that to you?
Yes. I believe it was right. No, Libby. Libby sent it. Ah, there we go. It's a little tight, but we'll break it in. It'll be all right. It'll be all right.
Right.
This T-shirt brought to you by the Iridium Group. There it is. I'm the bad guy. Let me put on my bad guy hat. All right. I'm the bad guy. What is going on here? Why would somebody just shoot this nice man with a suppressed pistol? And I would submit, not a professional. Not a professional. The tradecraft displayed on closed circuit television. So that's the first thing it tells you, right? On closed circuit television. Pick your place and time. Maybe a little bit better. And then the dude had what? At least 3 malfunctions? Probably, yeah, just, anyway. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter why he had malfunctions, but he had a lot of malfunctions with a suppressed pistol. And it didn't look like they were terribly comfortable with a suppressed pistol. Okay, so I wouldn't say this was like it was a hired hit. I wouldn't say it was a professional hit. It's just way too dirty, messy. So who done it? Who done it? Similar but unrelated asterisk question. Why the sudden ramp up in the Ukraine war, in the Israeli war? Why the presidential pardon of Hunter Biden between 2014 and 2024 for anything and all reasons? Why would some random guy, air quote, just happen to assassinate the CEO of United Healthcare? Unprofessionally. My children can run suppressed pistols better than that. Morning, my brother. What's up, my sister? Good morning, little sister. My little sister can run suppressed pistols better than that, okay? So 'twas I the bad guy with my bad guy hat right here. What happened here? Well, you may remember, 5-ish years ago, the world got the flu. And there was a little thing called Operation Warp Speed that was put in place. And nobody knew at first, is this the Black Death? Is this the plague? Are 1 in 3 people going to die? We didn't know. I didn't know. I stayed home. I locked my gate. Other than going to work, we didn't do anything, right? We ate food storage, we ate sheep, we hung out with our homies, but we did not interact with the world. And everybody sat on the edge of their seat for months. Did this come out of the Wuhan virology lab, or was it some kind of bat soup in a wet market? Or no, it was the what? It was the biolabs in Ukraine. No, it was the biolabs in North Carolina. No, it's Anthony Fauci. Remember all that? Remember all that shit? And then the way that we were told that we could get back to normal was if you stuck this thing in your arm, squeezed it real hard, and then you did that at least 2 more times. And then it turns out that if you stuck that thing in your arm, incidence of myocarditis way up. Incidence of cardiac arrests of athletes more in 2023 than the previous 50 years combined that they started keeping records. How curious, how interesting. Decline in fertility, huge increases in all-cause deaths, underreported huge increases in all types of cancers, leukemia, just everything. Oh, God. I called, my little sister's on the brief here right now. My mom is immunocompromised. And I called my little sister and I said, hey, no matter what you do, you will not let Ma take this shot. Period, the end. Okay? Not happening. Don't do it. And because my little sister's awesome, they didn't do it. Okay? Okay? 6 strings. That arm thing unalived my dad, cousin, uncle, and 3 friends. And I am sorry to hear that. I am legitimately sorry to hear that. We all know at least one person, if not many people, that suffered the consequences of that arm thing, right? Well, now all this data is coming out. Pfizer and others were supposed to have this data sequestered for 75 years. 75 years. Sounds a lot like the JFK files, don't it? Except, just yesterday, it was released that another 1 million pages of data has been subpoenaed by a federal judge. It's the house of cards is starting to tumble down, man. There's 400 different accredited studies showing all-cause deaths way up, cancer way up, lack of fertility way up, or in other words, fertility way down, myocarditis in teenagers through the roof, thousands of % increase, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. And if we get to that point, I would be happy to tie the rope around Anthony Fauci's neck and throw it over a tree limb. I'm in. If they're looking for a guy, I'm very good with knots and rope. Okay? And then, unrelated, the CEO of United Healthcare gets schwacked on CCTV from clearly not a professional. So, I don't think it was a government hit job. I don't think it was of the people. I think it was funded by those who are in the government who profited immensely, including, did you see 84% of healthcare earnings in the last 24 months? 84% of healthcare earnings in the last 24 months were government contracts. How interesting. How interesting. And a bunch of people, a small group of people made billions and billions of dollars as our friends, family, loved ones died because they took some experimental medication in order to try to get back to normalcy. And this guy at the top, this Brian Thompson, CEO, former of United Healthcare, was in on it. And so now they're starting to tie up loose threads. And it's great cover for action. It's a great cover story because it is some evil healthcare company that is denying people's claims left and right. They did just implement an AI bot that has a 90% error rate when it comes to approving claims. All that, 100%. Yep, for sure. But see, here's the problem that people get wrapped around the axles on, is binary thinking. It must be one or the other. All those things can be true. I believe all those things are true. But the reason this dude got popped first in the calf and then in the back and then in the head, so from 5 feet away, super sloppy. I mean, YouTube doesn't like it when you handle firearms on live streams, but let's just pretend this is the thing right here. Dude, you're at arm's length. You're at arm's length. Pow, 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 pow. The calf? The calf at 5 feet? Did you see the dude try and clear the malfunction? He was like, I don't even know what is happening right now. There was no automaticity, tap, rack, bang. There was none of that. Like, yeah. He didn't go into malfunction drills at all. It's just like, Pa! Oh, I shot him in the calf. Oh, the slide didn't fully seat. What, maybe, oh, I pulled this thing? He looked surprised when a round popped out. Come on. It's terrible. Terrible. Muy terrible. I think they say in the Espanol. So, not a professional hit job at all. But to the point of the guy who used to provide security for this dude, Philip Klein of Klein Investigations, companies need to wake up and realize that executives could be hunted down anywhere. Yeah, what was put on display there with United Health is not even competency on how to utilize a pistol. That's not even competency. That's incompetency. Somebody, anybody with a rifle, anybody. I mean, I won't explain the mechanisms to you, but people are way easier to find. We're all way easier to find than we think we are, especially people that have public schedules or partly public schedules. And 1,000 meters or so inside of 308 will handle that. Okay? Oh no, sir, he's at 1,300 meters. 301 mag, 6.5 Creedmoor, 243 with the right loading. You see my point? It's easy. This system is way more fragile than anybody thinks that it is, and people are way more fragile than most of us realize. And the only reason this system continues to lord over us is because we let it. Because people are afraid of it. But they might fire me from my job like they did 5 years ago. Oh, they might tell me I can't go to church like they did 5 years ago. Who cares? It's all an illusion. Everybody's worried about AI is going to make holograms and it's going to be the beast and the false prophet from the book of Revelation. You already have these holograms in your brain of authority that doesn't exist, that you're subjugating yourself to in the first place. Sorry, went a little deep there. United Healthcare is the largest U.S. insurer. The shell casings with deny, defend, and depose written across them make it clear that this incident was related to the injustice of the company's denial of care. No, that's what we call a red herring. If we write deny, defend, depose on the 9mm shell casings, and when they pick those up, that was designed to be found by investigators to be able to go open and shut case. It must be because United Healthcare is denying claims. It has nothing to do with this global conspiracy called COVID-19 at all. The timing is just completely coincidental, has nothing to do with anything. It's completely about deny, defend, depose. Okay? Makes it clear this incident was related to the injustice of the company's denial of care, which is significant. United Healthcare's, in particular, was found to have a denial rate of 22.7% for post-acute care under Medicare Advantage plans in 2022. That's a 9-fold jump since 2019. Now, Mark says, who cares? If you don't care, then today's not a good brief for you, homie. Supposed to look sloppy? You never know. Maybe. Well, and how much... See, because you probably don't want it to look like a professional hit either, right? You need it to look sloppy. So how much competency is needed to get the job done? Okay? Enough. Dude's dead. That was enough. Okay? Also, that guy, was the CEO of United Healthcare, one of the largest corporations on planet Earth. His situational awareness was horrendous. Let's go one layer deeper. Do you have more tinfoil? Was that even the guy? Was that the guy? Is Brian Thompson actually dead? Or some dude that looks like Brian Thompson dead? Air quote, dead. Maybe the reason it malfunctioned is because those were not actually live rounds. And now that guy's dead. Oh no. Oh no. He's not actually dead. He's hanging out on Epstein's Island, or he's with Diddy somewhere. He escaped the country with Ellen DeGeneres. I don't know. But if I was that guy and I had that much money and I was like, and I saw the writing on the wall, maybe me, Brian Thompson, hire some guy to air quote kill me on CCTV, right? 100% about banning suppressors. Steel City. See, I don't think it's 100% about banning suppressors. I think they'll try and use that. But then even right now, you have court cases attacking the NFA, suppressors regulating, being regulated by the NFA under the Second Amendment right now. Things weird AF, man. Maybe if I was Brian Thompson and I saw the writing on the wall, Hunter just got pardoned, which means he could be compelled to testify. He's not legally liable, but he could be compelled to testify. And I see the writing on the wall, and now I'm like, I need a GTFO. I'm gonna put a little plan together. I won't tell my wife about it. I'll link up with her later, or maybe because I'm the scumbag CEO of a giant corporation, I'm just gonna abandon my wife and go hang out with one of my 19 girlfriends instead on an island somewhere. And I have now escaped the situation. And the reason the gun malfunction was the rounds weren't actually live. Or maybe that wasn't that dude at all. Maybe they're training rounds. I don't know. I don't know. Neither do any of the rest of us. How much can you know? See, and we don't know enough to say, like, it's 100% about banning suppressors. Is it? It's a 100% about banning suppressors. That's why the CEO of United Healthcare got, air quote, assassinated on closed circuit television, was for banning suppressors. Could have been anybody, right? Shitty suppressor jammed them up. That's entirely possible. When we go possible versus plausible, yeah, it's possible we haven't. Most likely, we got an untrained shooter with a weapon that wasn't well maintained, with a bad suppressor and the wrong loading on the ammunition, and that's what went down there. But how do we even know that it was Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, that got shot and killed? Because that's what they said. That's what they said. Oh, so we take them at face value on this thing. They said this thing, therefore it must be that. But we know everything else is bullshit. But in this, they're trustworthy. Okay, cool, man. However you want to rightly divide that, go for it. According to a Senate report, part of the reason for that increase in denial, the denial rate from United Healthcare, is that the company used an AI model that had a 90% error rate. That's great. I can't wait till the robots take over. See, you know, I don't know if you've been following Mr. Wrangler Star for a while or not, but like he used to just be this dude that was in the woods with like axes and chainsaws. He's like, hello, beloved. Today we're going to talk about the proper way to hang an axe handle on this 100-year-old axe that I bought at the flea market that we're going to restore today. You know, a little light sanding, some WD-40. It's awesome. And now he's like, hello, beloved. Did you know that a Roomba can hold 4 pounds of tannerite? Act accordingly, right? So you had a little shift in radicalization. I get it. And I think, not this reason, but I think this is part of the reason why. It's like, we're going to put the robots in charge, and they're wrong 9 out of 10 times. Meh. I'm, by the way, loving the memes on the interwebs of like, all these different dog-shaped robots that people are putting targets on. They're like, the battery pack is here. The actuators are here. The brain, aka the computer, is here. These rounds will not get through, but these rounds will. Love it. Have you seen some of those things, by the way? The Chinese have one that looks like a dog robot thing, but it has wheels where the paws would be, and it'll stand up and run down grade, and then when it gets back on the flat land, it'll drop back down to dog position and take off like 40 miles an hour. That's what belt feds are for. I don't know, shotguns, like tripwires, claymores, those things are ridiculous. Tannerite is the new Ovaltine. I love it. Let's see. Proprietary analysis from Value Penguin. Value Penguin. You guys are very familiar with Value Penguin. It's internationally renowned. The Value Penguin discovered that United Healthcare denied 32% of claims in 2023. While insurers do not disclose denial rates to the public, according to some sources, United Healthcare has twice the denials than the industry average. Twice the denials of the industry average. Does this new AI bot have anything to do with the fallout costs associated with COVID-19 now that all these people be dying and be having these long-term, they thought they were going to get rich off the shot. Turns out they're going to go broke by dealing with the fallout from the shot. Because Americans and people at large have a attention span of approximately 7 to 8 seconds. And we forget about global tyranny. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Be good. Okay. All right. Settled then. The bag full of Monopoly money is curious. Yeah, I mean, yeah. This is going to chalk this up to one more thing we're never going to get actual answers on. You'll get an official report that will 100% be bullshit, and that'll be that. We'll all be over here scratching our beards going, I'm not really sure what happened. That being said, what's the overarching point of this brief for me? I think corrupt scumbag CEOs of corrupt scumbag organizations should be fearing for their life. Well, that's vigilante justice, Bear. I have a Bible. I've read the Bible. Murder is not allowed, but killing is. And some people, their conduct is just so gross that killing is required, that pattern of behavior doesn't become onboarded to the greater congregation, the greater tribe in the nation, so that people don't repeat this pattern of behavior and then feel like this is okay. We're allowed to do this now. Well, Brian Thompson did it. It must be okay. I'm going to do it too. No, Brian Thompson got shot in the head. Might want to think twice about doing that because Brian Thompson got shot in the head. Which I would submit to you, in the Old Testament, we stone people to death. Here in what's probably the Third Testament, I think our stones look a lot like that. I think that's what they look like. They go significantly faster than they used to back in the day. But, forces, mass times acceleration squared. And so if you have enough mass, like a rock, even if you just chuck a rock with everything you got, it's going way slower than 147 grain plus P jacketed hollow point is. But it still has enough mass to get the job done. So I'm not calling for violence. I'm saying I understand it. And in certain situations, I condone it. And these scumbags should be afraid. Because we are supposed to be a government of the people, for the people, by the people. Not a government of a bunch of cronies that coalesce trillions of dollars in wealth at the highest echelons of society, while you and I, dealing with the fallout of their bullshit, can't even get adequate health coverage to sustain our own lives. So screw these people. Do I have is it a moral conundrum that this guy got murked on the streets of New York? Nope, because you reap what you sow. And this dude sowed a bunch of bullshit and now he dead. And that's how it's supposed to be. And so if 'twas I any other, I don't know, scumbag CEO out there, I'd be looking over my shoulder. Me personally. Boo boo boo. How might this assassination change things? There have been a swell of requests for security to cover high-level executives as negative public sentiment becomes more clear than ever. Okay, so now all the scumbags want additional security. Hear me out. Maybe be less of a scumbag. Maybe that. And also, more security comes with its own problems. You have a higher footprint now. Wow, that's interesting. This guy used to hang out with 2 other dudes. Now he's hanging out with 12 other dudes. Who is this guy? Oh, I'm even more interested in his pattern of life now. Shalom, Waffles. Turns out, that's Ryan McRyan. He's the scumbag CEO of United Global Corp. We should shoot that guy in the head too. Right? It creates its own problems. And you can't spend your way out of the consequences of your bullshit actions. One might think that you can, especially somebody who's the CEO of a major Globo Corp, because they're not righteous people. But you can't spend your way out of the consequences of your bullshit actions. So hire all the security you want. Like, how many presidents have been assassinated? Now, by whom is a completely different conversation. Probably the CIA. Probably. Well, who was the CIA working for? It was the Illuminati. No, it was the Jewish cabal. No, it was, yes. All of the above. The Satanist elite pedophiles. Slap whatever label you want on, okay? The mob, the CIA. The mob didn't want to kill JFK. They kind of did. It's a completely different conversation. But yeah. the mob had reasons in the JFK assassination to get involved. But also, money. Money. Just like this dude that shot Brian Thompson, money. It wasn't altruistic. You're hanging your neck out there. You're going to get caught on camera. Things could go sideways for you. Okay? Have you read that book, Crossfire, by Jim Marrs? M-A-R-R-S? Phenomenal book, by the way, about the Kennedy assassination. Investigative journalist. Very, very good. So, there have been a swell of requests for security to cover high-level executives as negative public sentiment becomes more clear than ever. What happens if the guys that you hire to protect you figure out you're a scumbag? Now what happens? Oh, what do? I invent robots that are going to take over the world. Not anymore, you don't. Pop, pop. Insider threat. Huge problem. Huge. That sucks. But there may be policy changes too, as insurers finally get wind of just how hot the simmering discontent is. Just after the shooting, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield announced that it would not proceed with a policy change that would have limited its reimbursements to doctors for anesthesia. So in other words, oh, it's working. Negligent discharge ×3. Yeah, he was suicidal. He shot himself in the back of the head 4 times. The limits were to be based on insurer-determined time limits, a proposal that prompted outrage from the American Society of Anesthesiologists. Anesthesiologist? That's the word. Anesthesiologists. That's it. Anesthesiologists. Of course, sorry guys. Bear, you're supposed to be the authority on the internet. Guys, I have a Pulse and an iPhone. That is what has qualified me to talk to the internet. Don't lay your unrealistic expectations on me. I see a big word and sometimes I'm like, well, I don't know what that says. And so then I just try and just power through it. Okay? Okay. Anesthesiologists. Of course, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield claimed, quote, there has been significant widespread misinformation about an update to our anesthesia policy. Sure. As a result, we've decided not to proceed with this policy change. To be clear, it never was and never will be a policy of Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield to not pay for medically necessary anesthesia services. Oh, so your bureaucracy is threatened by people getting shot in the head. That CEO had evidence on the Clintons. I bet he did. I bet he did. I bet he did. And the Obamas and the Bidens and the Zelenskys. Guys, I'm out of coffee. Let's go get more coffee. Come on. I'm going to get more coffee. Okay? All right. Let's go. Do-do-do-do. Say hi, Lauren. She's media-ing over there. That's what she does. Look, coffee cup. Empty. Unacceptable. Hunter's over there packing kits. Foe's packing kits. Britt is expediting kits. Philip's doing trauma packs. Mouse is in the coffee hole.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the coffee hole, Mouse? You're supposed to cut shit and sew shit.
Hey, I do that. I gotta have caffeine.
Have you told him, Jen?
I have.
You have?
He's doing good.
Cut shit, sew shit.
Cut shit, sew shit.
Feel
Put butter in my coffee.
Repeat. Put butter in your coffee?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
You doing the bulletproof coffee?
Dude.
Does it work? Are you
finally, I'm not bulletproof, but I
How many
like
of those you gotta
30
drink before you can take a round? You guys,
really good.
is the heavy cream over there?
You can take around at 1.
No.
See, this is a problem
You're gonna survive
for all the men out there, right? You know, like when you look in the fridge, you're like, hey babe, where's the insert thing here? And then she finds it, no problem. But look at this minefield we have to navigate. Oh, I see it now. Thank you, Mouse. But like, how am I supposed to know where the heavy cream is in here? Bottom shelf in between the... We have like a bunch of really good leftovers from yesterday because we had training here today and Oki came in and cooked for us. So there's, what is there, like enchilada soup and taco meat. And
Yeah, it's chicken tacos.
chicken taco stuff. Like, oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, and brookies.
Yeah.
I will not be having any of these, but Aubrey made these for us. Aubrey's sweet treats, sweet creations. I don't know. I don't know. She has a Facebook page. You should get some. She ships nationally. She's awesome. She's a 12-year-old. Entrepreneurship 12-year-old.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's amazing. Jen has some wild beast walking around in here.
You smell good.
I smell good?
You smell good.
It's not because I'm trying to.
Oh.
I appreciate it though. Is it the coffee? What are you doing?
Fulfilling orders.
Fulfilling orders.
Yes.
Why would you do that?
Because people order stuff. We send it.
Is that how this?
That's how it works.
Do we call this business?
Yeah, it's
that's
business.
good. We don't really know what we're doing. You guys beep boop beep on the internet, and then like a first aid kit shows up. Okay, let's go back over here. I have it on good authority that multicam plate carriers are shipping this week, and they're finishing up the last of the Coyote today, I believe. What's up, Rhonda Miller?
Rhonda!
Rhonda is alumni. Oh, it's Monica. Monica never appears on camera. It's pointed this way, Mon. Don't worry. Monica is like she's like a spirit. Monica's more like a concept, you know? It's more like a concept. The hell was I saying? Yesterday, we had Refuge training here, which was awesome. And just a little anecdote for anybody who's like, I want to come, but I don't know if I should come to training. Blah, 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 blah. We literally had a 21-year special operations veteran, naval special warfare, and a 75-year-old grandma in the same class yesterday. And they both killed it. So if you're somewhere in between Navy SEAL and 75-year-old grandma, you can train with us, okay? Same class, same team, same drills, same scenarios, same reps and sets, same all of that, okay? So if you're like, I don't know if I can do it. Now, this, was Kathy her name? I think it was Kathy. 75-year-old grandma from Texas. She was killing it. It's awesome. She did awesome, okay? So, yes, you can do it. You have to choose to want to do it, but you can do it. I'm also legitimately excited to tell you guys that the SOB is back in stock, okay? What's up, Matt Bear? Shalom, bro. This is the SOB, small of the back kit. This thing's tiny. Look how tiny it is. It weighs as much, very thin, very narrow, designed to go on a war belt or a plate carrier or a pistol belt or your range kit or whatever, okay? Comes in all the cool colors. And these things have been harder to find than hen's teeth here lately. And they're back in stock, shipping fast. Like you order one today, I'll send you one today. Little tiny email, David. You know what? Thanks for your $20. I will take $20 from Team Creamy so that Team Crunchy can use it to train and eat meat and slurp creatine so that we destroy you at the Refuge Ruckus tug of war, Creamy versus Crunchy. I will not say thank you for super chats from Team Creamy. I will acknowledge them, but I will not thank you. SOB, small the back kit. Oh no, I've been hit. You pop this open, you grab the red handle, and you pull this out so that your first aid stuff is not stuck to you while you're laying on the floor bleeding out and dying. And then pop this open. Oh look, a little Made in America tag, because that's how we do it around here. And here's my whole blowout kit. Okay, it's all in there, ready to go in a lovely little pouch. You've got a, Committee on TCCC recommended windlass tourniquet, a real one, combat gauze, pressure bandage, gloves, chest seals, wound packing gauze, flat duct tape, nasal pharyngeal airway, Sharpie, the whole nine, all of it. Beautiful, tremendous, so compact, lightweight, made in America, so good. She sewed it. It was amazing. The best walking feet. Her feet, they walked because they're feet that walk on a sewing machine. Wouldn't understand. Not an expert. But they're great, okay? I'm a huge fan of these. Our brother, the Patriot Plumber, helped us develop these. years ago because he was in the competitive shooting space, and he's like, hey, all these little like range belt blowout kits suck shit. They're terrible. Can you make me one that is compact, lightweight, and actually has all the things that I need inside of it? I was like, yeah, we can do that. And so we did that, and then we started selling, like we gave him one, and we started selling them. It was like, yeah, they're good for pistol belts, and it's like, actually they're good for war belts. Actually, they're good on plate carriers too. Oh, actually, like all these cool guys that do things that never happen want these because they're compact, and unlike a lot of other competitors, you don't have to worry about this thing falling out when you're like jumping out of an aeroplane. It's not going to come apart, but it also doesn't have buckles in it. And people go, but this makes noise. You know what? This is a lot quieter than this right here, if you're listening. 5.56, 7.62, 50 cal, close air support, mechanized artillery, mechanized infantry. Yeah, this. If I need my boo-boo kit, if I need my I've been blown up kit, this is not our primary concern, okay? So yeah, these are back in stock. That's the SOB from Refuge Medical. Of course, made in America, guaranteed forever, all the things. Bearfax and Bearmins are also in stock and shipping fast. I'll tell you guys more about them later. In the meanwhile, from RT, Putin personally approved Assad's asylum. Now, who's Assad? Bashar al-Assad, the guy that used to be the dictator of Syria. Used to be. Now, Bear, what's happening in Syria? Bro, hell if I know. I don't really know. I have been trying to consume as much Syria intelligence as I can, and I'm still like, what the is actually happening here? I don't. Team Crunchy. That's right, Sarah Kelly. Bless you. See, Sarah knows her asshole from her elbow. She's got it all figured out. But so Bashar al-Assad used to be chief bad guy, chief scumbag in Syria. He has since fled from Syria and is now, he has received political asylum in Moscow from the Russians. Why? Well, there's this this group that used to be like Al-Qaeda but isn't now HTS, Halam Sabatabalaba, or something like that, I think is their name.
That's exactly right.
That's their name, right? Halam Sabalabataba? Thank you. Yep. Yeah, that's me. Eastern Europe and the Middle East that's my bread and butter. That's what I'm known for. And especially my language skills and pronunciation. And so, anyway, this HTS group is run by a guy, Al-Jalani. I think that's his name, Al-Jalani. I don't know. Al. We're going to call him Al. Run by this guy, Al, who used to be like legit common spelling paladin. Well, yes, common spelling. Exactly. Oh, that's great. That's a cop joke. That's awesome. Derailed. The train has derailed. Syria, it's all jacked up. So, this Al-Jalani guy, he used to be Al-Qaeda. He was backed by Turkey, which is a Muslim nation that is a NATO member. Over there, if you're looking at Israel on a map, go north/northwestish from there. Do you have enough packages, Monica? You gonna make it? Do you need help?
No,
Okay, you rock. Good job. And so Monica's like 5 foot tall, and she just walked out literally with like a unload of packages like this. Got to her car, so that's cool. And so Turkey backed these dudes. Now, the Americans, we have about 1,000 troops there, mostly special operations dudes, support personnel, in support of the Kurds. You may remember the Kurds, okay? Now, the Russians and Iranians also had a military presence in Syria, because Syria was a pass-through, a funnel for Iranian armaments training personnel to Hezbollah in their fight against Israel. proxy war. The cool thing about Syria, to the extent that it's cool at all, is you actually see all the key players in the same place, right? So it helps paint this whole proxy war picture. It's like bad stuff and bad people are flowing through Syria to attack Israel, but in Syria you have Iran, you have Russia, you have Turkey, you have the U.S. with a small presence there, trying to keep our finger on the pulse of what's happening there. Not your thumb. Don't use your thumb. Your thumb has its own pulse. Use these two fingers right here. So you see all that happening, right? Well, these three different factions, the Iranian-backed rebels and the Russian-backed rebels, lost to the Turkish-backed rebels. But the Turkish-backed rebels literally used to be Al-Qaeda that we literally used to be killing. Now, we still have about 1,000 dudes there. And then Erdogan, who is the chief scumbag of Turkey, which used to just be spelled like the bird, but it is now spelled Turkiye with a little dashy thing over the E in case it wasn't weird enough. Turkey wants the Kurds destroyed, which is kind of counter to the interests of the United States, because we've said that, hey, we would support the Kurds, but we're really good at abandoning the Kurds. You'd think they would have figured this out by now. And really what Erdogan wants is, now with HTS, the Al-Jilani guy in charge, because Bashar al-Assad now lives in Russia. We'll get to that in a minute. Does this all sound super complicated? I swear I'm trying to boil it down to brass tacks, because the whole thing is very super complicated, okay? So now Bashar al-Assad, prior scumbag in charge of Syria, now lives in Russia. We'll get to that in a minute. The new guy who runs Syria, Al-Jilani, used to be Al-Qaeda. He's the best of the worst, okay? He's the top scumbag now. Backed by Turkey, who's Erdogan, who's part of NATO, but they're not great people, and they really don't like us, and they're not great, okay? I need a pin board, yeah, so I can do that meme, the Charlie Day meme. I need one of these. All right. So Erdogan from Turkey has millions of Syrian refugees in his country that he wants out. And so he wants to push them back across the border into Syria, but as part of that deal, the Kurds have to be destroyed. Which brings us to the roughly 1,000 United States soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and spooky guys that are over there, just kind of keeping, what they have been doing, allegedly or whatever, is running ops with the Kurds to combat these other two rebel groups, the Iranian-backed rebel group and the Russian-backed rebel group. Proxy war between the United States and Russia, which is materializing in the Middle East with Israel as a key player and Syria as a constituent player, backed by Iran and Russia. Now, Iran is like, they're not doing so hot. They're on life support to the point now that they are talking about seriously increasing their quest for a nuclear weapon, because with Israel's offensive here since October 7th, 2023, last October, not this previous October, but the one before that, Israel has just swacked the ever-loving crap out of Iran and their proxies. Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, now they're in Syria. Israel is now on the ground in Syria as well. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, guys. I didn't have this shit on my 2024 bingo card, but I'm like, we might be entering put a helmet on territory. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get a nuclear conflict out of this deal here, because Russia's pretty much got its hands full in Ukraine, and Iran is running out of horsepower. They are running out of horsepower. But we still have United States troops there. So Erdogan from Turkey is saying, get these troops out, send them home ASAP. The Biden regime is saying, nope, we're going to be here forever. The Trump regime is saying, nope, we're bringing those troops home. So we got about 1,000 of our guys over there in limbo in a very unstable area of the world that has NATO forces, Turkey, in the same area as Russia and Iran, on the soil that used to be controlled yesterday by Bashar al-Assad, but is now today controlled by a guy, al-Jilani, who literally used to be Al-Qaeda, next door to Israel. What could go wrong? Okay? What could go wrong? Which brings us to Putin personally approved Assad, Bashar al-Assad, former chief bad guy from Syria's asylum, to Moscow. Why? Why would you do that? Well, dude has to have a place to run. Think about the intelligence value of debriefing a guy like that. Russian President Vladimir Putin personally approved Bashar Assad's asylum in Moscow, the Kremlin confirmed on Monday. That's today. The revelation follows reports that the former Syrian president and his family had arrived in Russia after the fall of Damascus to armed opposition forces. Now, initially it was reported that Bashar al-Assad was on a jet that got shot down by surface-to-air missiles and that his whole family was dead. If I was Bashar al-Assad, that's totally what I would do. It's like, oh yes, we're all dead. Ha ha ha. I'm going to P. Diddy's Island now, or whatever. Wherever all these scumbags hang out. But, well, here's another thing. I don't know. Has anybody gotten a text from Bashar al-Assad lately? Is he in Russia or is he dead? I don't know. But RT said, oh, the Russian state propaganda said that they have him. Okay. But if I was the Russians, I would love to have this dude. Because I would have him like zip tied to a metal chair with alligator clips on his testicles right now. I would want to know everything there is to know from this guy. And his wife and his kids and everybody. Now, again, I'm the bad guy hat. I'm not saying I'm operating in righteousness here. I'm saying I'm a Russian commie bastard. Okay? Yeah. But Bear, they're not commies anymore. What's up, Terry?
Just heard you.
You heard me say Russian commie bastard and you came over here?
Yeah.
Bro, you were the total opposite. Look at you. The overalls, cowboy boots, you got the hat going.
No comment.
If you're a Russian asset, done for.
True blue American.
What are you doing over there?
Cutting parts.
Cutting parts. Can we show the people real quick?
Yeah.
So if I was Russia, what I would do is I would be debriefing the shit out of this guy right now. Shooting him full of propofol. Be punching his kids in front of him. I've been doing all the terrible things.
Right here. Got
Okay.
my homemade rig.
Homemade rig?
Homemade
Okay,
rig, works
cool.
great. Making these motors for the plate carriers.
Play carrier.
Everybody wants them plate carriers.
I know.
Bring them out.
Damn, look at that. All right, so you pull it out to whatever your
Yep.
length is.
Yep.
So what are you cutting right now?
This is cummerbund parts for the cummerbund loop. It's loop for the cummerbund.
Cool.
Yep.
2 per.
Yep.
And you just do that all day. Couldn't we like get a robot to do this?
No. American people only.
We could get a robot to do it.
But we won't.
But we
Right,
won't.
boss?
That's right.
We
Right here,
won't,
bro.
boss.
Right here. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, boss.
I'm really intrigued by the fact that you came running over when you heard me say Russian commie bastard.
Get him.
Now I'm gonna have to do a deeper dive on whoever the hell you are. That's it. Terry's the inside threat. That's what we have going on around here. Terry's the insider threat. So, all right. So anyway, the point of this is allegedly Bashar al-Assad is now in Russia. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Wait, I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. But Putin said. Okay, well, Putin said. If you step over one more red line, I'm going to nuke the entire world. Okay. Watch us just tiptoe right across this line. Well, do it again and I'll nuke the world. Do it again and okay, sure. What's that map for on the wall? We use the map that's on the wall to plan excursions as an organization. Like when we go on the road, do trainings and stuff like that. So back in the day, I used to be in a band. I was in several bands, but like when you take a band on the road, you put together a tour, right? Because you're gonna have the same travel costs. Let's say I got to get from here to New York City. Okay, I'm gonna get from Eastern Oklahoma to New York City. Not that I would, but because you know people be getting shot in the streets with bad suppressors out there. It's terrible. And I don't go to the communist state of New York anymore. Well, we'll just say New York City. I'm going to New York City. Okay, and I'm in eastern Oklahoma. Well, how am I going to get to New York City? So the costs to get to New York City and back are essentially the same. Well, I can take those costs and split them out over many different stops like a tour. See, I could drive east from here, right? And I hit Little Rock, and so I do a training in, I do a show in Little Rock, and then I hit Memphis, so I do a show in Memphis. Keep driving. Maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll go to Huntsville, so I'll hit Huntsville. We'll duck over from Huntsville. We'll hit the ATL. We'll go up the East Coast. We'll do a whole bunch of East Coast stops, right? Work all the way up through the Communist Republic of New Jersey. End up in New York City. Now we're in New York. Instead of doing a show, we'll do 3 or 4 shows. Turn around. Maybe we'll hit upstate New York because nobody ever goes upstate anymore. So we'll go through the Jewish Alps, the Catskills, hook back around, come back down. We'll end up in Pennsylvania. We'll do a Philly show. Then we'll do a Pittsburgh show. Shoot over into Ohio. We'll do Cincinnati. We'll do Cleveland. Maybe because we're just got a death wish, we'll hit Detroit. Okay, now we're in Detroit, and then we'll duck back down from Detroit. We'll end up stopping through, let's do some Kansas shows. Maybe we'll hit Oklahoma City. We'll scoot over from Oklahoma City back to Tulsa. We'll come down from Tulsa back home again. Here we are, and we'll finish. We'll hit Indy too. Okay, and we'll finish with a big giant homecoming show in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Okay, that's how you put a tour together. And so you split the cost of going to New York and coming back over 15 different shows instead of one show, okay? So we do the same thing with training when we go on the road with training. There's an expressed interest in insert place here. Okay, so I'm a visual person, so I literally will put pins on the map and go, what's in between here and there? And then what we do is then we look at the customer data from all of y'all. How many customers do we have in Georgia? It turns out it's a lot. You know what our top 3 markets are? First is Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. What's up, Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas? The second is Chicago, Chirac. That's exactly right, Jason Bradley. You guys need med kits. Oh my gosh, do you need med kits? You need U-Haul trucks. But until you get U-Haul trucks, you need med kits and body armor. And then Atlanta. So 7 of our top 15 markets are in Texas. And then you've got Atlanta, you've got a couple California cities in there, Chicago, Atlanta, there's some Florida in there. And so, Bear, you're giving away all your market research. We don't have competitors. We just have assholes who think they're as good as we are, and they're not, so whatever. Because they have robots that cut their hook and loop, and we have Terry, the insider communist, who cuts it for us. So, so that's why there's a map on the wall. Anyway, Bashar al-Assad, bad. He's now hanging out with Vladimir Putin, also bad. Everybody tracking? Tracking, Bear? Cool. Lastly, but certainly not least, Trump says he'll probably cut Ukraine aid. Probably. Strong commitment there. Probably. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe. It's possible. Could be. Could not be. Everybody said you should, but I said maybe. Probably. Why do you ask such a dumb question? Yeah, maybe. The incoming U.S. president has said he wants to prevent the conflict from becoming something much bigger. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has said he will probably reduce American aid to Ukraine once he takes office. In an interview aired hours after he called for an immediate ceasefire between Moscow and Kyiv. During an interview broadcast by NBC News on Sunday. Does anybody even fucking watch NBC News anymore? My last memory of NBC News, this is not hyperbole, is being in my grandmother's house, sitting on the floor, having to turn the knob on the front of the television in order to change the channel. During an interview broadcast by NBC News on Sunday, Trump was asked whether Ukraine should prepare for less aid from the United States after his inauguration next month. Possibly, yeah, probably, sure, Trump said. Which is very strong commitment. The U.S. has allocated billions of dollars, blah, 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 blah. This is what I found interesting. Trump met with Zelensky and French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris on Saturday for an impromptu discussion that he was reportedly reluctant to attend. None of the three men spoke to the press afterwards or revealed any specific details of the 40-minute meeting. Remember me last Friday where I was like, hey, Trump's gonna go to Paris to the Notre Dame. There's gonna be 50 heads of state there. You remember that? We talked about that? Decapitation strike. I'm glad there wasn't a decapitation strike, but talk about like CEOs getting shot in the back of the head. What a ridiculous move. And it gets back to, it illustrates cover for action, plausible deniability, okay? And in this case, it's mundane. But earlier, somebody said something like, it's 100% about X. It's never 100% about anything. And the higher up the echelons of power you get, the less it's about a single thing. You don't do anything for one reason. You never do. I don't come to this. I'm at Refuge right now, right? Well, why are you at Refuge? It's to do the brief. Is it? Is it to do the brief? What have I done since I've been here? Drank coffee. Needed to do that because I didn't drink coffee at my house this morning. Talked to Lauren about media stuff. Talked to Lauren about other executive stuff. Talked to Brittany about executive stuff. Checked in with the guys on the production side. I've talked to the sew shop. I'm now doing the brief with y'all. I have things to do after I get done here from a CEO standpoint. It's all about one thing. It's one thing. No, it's never one thing. So Trump went to Paris to go to the Notre Dame inauguration or whatever it is, right? The celebration. Okay, why? Because there were 50 other heads of state there, okay? So now he's already here. He's going for the cathedral. He's going because there's 50 other heads of state there so he can have conversations. And if there's somebody who's been squirrely, been hard to get a hold of, they're all at this thing now. I see you. Now we can have a conversation. Hey, Bill, come here. Let's talk. I'm no one. And I do that. I know somebody's going to be at this thing. I'll go to this thing so I can go see them. Hey, come here. Let me talk to you. All right? So it's never one thing. And the higher up you go, the less it is one thing. The more courses of action you can stack together with one movement, the better. Okay? So, Trump met with Zelensky and French President Emmanuel Macron. Now, Paris, France in general, is falling apart. Falling apart. The government is literally collapsing. Same thing in Germany. You mean he knows how to multitask? Yeah, you know David Hosfield? Exactly. It's almost like he's some kind of like billionaire dude who's been the president once already that understands task stacking. However, Trump took to social media on Sunday to claim that Zelensky and Ukraine would like to make a deal to stop the madness before calling for an immediate ceasefire negotiations lest the conflict turn into something much bigger and far worse. Trump also claimed that Ukraine has lost 400,000 soldiers since 2022, a figure far higher than any body count published by Kyiv or any of its Western backers. In a separate social media post on Sunday, now remember, this is coming from RT, so understand their bias here. Trump says Ukraine has lost 400,000 soldiers, which is more than anybody has ever said, which Russia is in support of, right? Because RT is Russian state propaganda. However, next paragraph. In a separate social media post on Sunday, Trump claimed that the conflict has cost Russia 600,000 troops, a figure that the Kremlin said is based on false information provided by Ukraine for propaganda purposes. Dude, these two sentences are one sentence apart, and the bias, the spin, does a 180 over the course of 3 sentences. So, like, always consider the source and their biases when you're reading. When a lot of the time people are like, Bear, why do you read RT? It's Russian propaganda. Because I know it's Russian propaganda. I want to see what the Russians are propagandizing. What are their talking points? What are they trying to elevate? What are they trying to diminish? Okay? So I don't take anything on the internet at face value. Blah, blah, blah. Zelensky doesn't want a swift deal. Blah, blah, blah. I don't, forgive me, if I don't give a flying about what Zelensky wants. I don't care. I don't care. We propped him up. We, the Americans, propped him up. We did a regime change 2014-ish. We put him in there. He was a puppet, is a puppet of the Americans. The DNC laundered a shit ton of money through him. He's literally a paid actor. He's literally a paid actor. I don't care what he wants. What he wants is to say the lines that his handlers are telling him to say. That's what he wants. Okay. Well, Zelensky said, where do you think he got the talking points from? Okay? Yeah, I don't care what Zelensky wants. What I want is I don't want any more Americans to die over there. I don't want any taxpayer dollars going over there. I don't care about a land war squabble between the former Soviets and former Soviets. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And I don't want the thing spilling into World War III because now we have NATO troops going over there. And also, again, note, Turkey is a NATO country that's now in Syria, as are the Israelis, not NATO, but they're very, very NATO-esque, as are the Iranians and the Russians, albeit they're getting their asses kicked, as are the Americans. That's why Syria is interesting. I don't like this whole NATO brushes up against bad guys thing unless we're going to go over there, kick a bunch of ass, chew a little bit of bubble gum, and then come home again, which we don't do anymore. Not in my lifetime. We don't do that anymore. We're going to have nation building and hearts and minds. No, turn that whole bitch into glass, and then we're going to come home again. You like that, Terry?
I love it.
Terry likes that.
I love it.
All right, that's the brief for today. That's actually not the brief for today. Most of what we did had nothing to do with the brief, but that's how it be. Bare facts, bare minimums, in stock, shipping fast from RefugeMedical.com. Lauren, you got anything you want to tell the peeps?
SOBs are in stock.
SOBs are in stock. I told them
Plate
that.
carriers are shipping out.
Plate carriers are shipping. I told them that.
The Mommy and Me class.
Oh, Mommy and Me.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's 20% off right now.
Mommy and Me class is 20% off. Very reasonable pricing. Includes your trainer kit to come to class. We're doing that this coming Sunday, right? Literally where I'm sitting right now. You can find that under the training tab on Refuge Medical. Now, you're going to have to travel to the booming metropolis of Spiro, Oklahoma. I know. But Fort Smith, Arkansas is right next door. You can get a caramel macchiato over there. There's a hotel. They have sushi there. Like, you can do all kinds of stuff over there. And the Mommy and Me class is specifically designed to teach children bleeding control and airway management, okay? And I would submit to you, you don't just have to be a mommy. If you're a grandmommy and you want to bring your grandkids or whatever, you can do that too. And I think, for me personally, 'twas I, a single dad, and I was looking to find my next life partner, and you're like, it's just too hard to find women. I don't know. If they came to this class, they watched this channel, and they're into medical. Don't look at me like that, Lauren.
Next thing you know, Refuge Dating.
Yeah,
site.
refugemeetups.com. It's like your
Are you into recording?
your profile's just
I'm
like
into
all the
this.
different kits you own and all the
Yeah.
different classes you've been to. It's like, and I've been to Arming the Saints twice, and I was at Refuge Ruckus, and
I was at Night Responder. Like,
Yeah,
that's the one.
Oh yeah, well, he was a night responder. Yeah. So, anyway, if I was a single dude trying not to be single anymore, I might come to the Mommy and Me class. Don't be weird. We don't let weirdos in here at all. There's literally a Browning 1919 A4 pointed out the front door, and it's live. It's not a fixture. It's not demilitarized. It's live, and there's 200 rounds belted right there. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. But I'm assuming if you're watching this show, you're the right kind of weird, not the wrong kind of weird. That's exactly right, Texas Sheep Lady. Thank you for the correction. Your last partner. You'll never need another one after this. If you fall in love at a Refuge Medical class, which has happened before. Yeah, I'm just saying, I think it's a good opportunity if you're like looking, if you're looking for your forever person. It's like, and then I twisted the windlass on the tourniquet. I looked in her eyes. I just knew. Through the pain, I could tell she was the one, right? So, Anyway, Mommy and Me class is coming up this weekend. What?
We also have seats open for the webinar on December 22nd.
We have a webinar on December 22nd. That you don't have to come in person. You can do
Date
that from
night.
your couch. Date night?
Date night.
Oh, that's a good one. So there's a bleeding control webinar December 22nd. That's also in the training tab at refugemedical.com. You guys know the drill, man. 138 lives saved to date. Continents, 4 continents. All the best continents. Only the good ones. Not the one covered with ice. No Nazis. U-231. The ice wall so high. Operation Sky Jump. Couldn't get over it. We had to come home. Admiral Byrd very disappointed. But in the middle, there's a hole. It goes to the Middle Earth. That's where the hobbits live. They're short people, very furry, eat many breakfasts. You good? You good over there? Yeah. All right. Anyway, refugemedical.com. There's like one thing we take seriously, and it's the preservation of life. Everything else is just... I agree with Bear about everything. Deb, that's interesting. There's got to be something we disagree on. There's got to be something. Shall we pray? Let's pray. Let's do it. Oh, good morning, Heavenly Father. Father, thank you for a good day. Thank you for Monday and another opportunity to go out into the world, to be the light, to be your hands and feet, to happen to the world, not to let the world happen to us, Father. I pray that when people see us, they see you, even in our imperfect humanness, that you shine through. And Father, that we could have a kind word or a word of encouragement or a kind act or a nugget of truth for all the people that we come in contact with. Father, please put us where we need to be. Let us be your hands and feet. Give us your words by your Ruach HaKodesh, that we could speak truth into people's lives. Father, thank you for letting us wake up this morning. Thank you for being sovereign over all things. Thank you for inexplicably loving us and making a way for us to come home again by the blood of Messiah. What an honor. What an honor that you would tarry with us, that you would willingly do life with us. And I thank you for that. Father, be with everybody within the sound of my voice. Let no weapon formed against them prosper. And if there is anything that is trying to come against them, it's not of you. I rebuke it in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach and command it to flee. Father, just fill us up with love, that it might overflow on all the people around us. Let us fear nothing but you, and conduct ourselves to the best of our ability in a way that puts a smile on your face. Father, thank you for being good to us, that we might be good to others, love our neighbor as ourselves, and love you with everything that we've got. Father, we love you. We praise you in Yeshua's name. Amen. It's Monday. Go kick a bunch of tail, man. Go do it. Go be the light. No man lights a lamp and hides it underneath a basket. You are a city on a hill. You're not to be hidden. Therefore, let your light so shine forth before men. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt becomes tasteless, then it is thrown out and trodden underfoot. What does salt mean? Leviticus 2:13. Let all your covenants be made with salt. You are the covenant. You are the embodiment of it. You are the light, the love. You happen to the world on behalf of Messiah, not the other way around. Don't get it twisted. See y'all when I see you. Shalom.